Hey everybody, thanks for your patience with me getting out the December version of the SSD Parent Advisory Council highlights. As you can imagine with the holiday season, it has been a little crazy around my house, as I'm sure it has been around yours. So this is the first quiet moment I have found to record this video for everybody. So I'm going to get it out. We're only a week out from our next meeting. I hope everybody will come up from the fog of the new year and join us in January. But let's recap December. In December, we talked about IEP fidelity. And it was really just more of a discussion that we had roundtable with SSD administration and the parents. There was a lot of back and forth about how SSD feels like we should just trust that the system is going to work, and the parents saying that's great, but we've got multiple examples, each of us, in how the system hasn't worked and how we did have trust and that trust was abused. So I think a further discussion is going to be needed. That's at least the general consensus among the executive council or the executive committee. And so we will be diving into this a little bit further because I don't feel like parents were really satisfied with the discussion that we had, and I want to be completely transparent about that. Then we did have a superintendent report. Dr. Keenan has pulled together some interesting numbers across the county looking at the population shift and trends and of the data. Overall, she said student population is stable, but there has been a slight increase. So across the county, student population is stable, but there has been an increase in SSD schools. And so they're taking a look at the referral sources for the SSD schools. And those are the, like, what you would call like self-contained, or where those are the schools that are run by SSD, not those that are referred for services and stay within their local school district and local school. So they are taking a look at that. They're also taking a look at how the student to teacher ratio falls within that. They're on par right now. It's about 12 to 13 students for every one teacher, which is on the national average. So we, SSD feels pretty good about that average, but there's some concern in some of the smaller districts with that being able to keep that ratio in line. Budget meetings are going to start in January, and a new 5-year plan will be started here in the new year for curriculum and staff development. So they're looking at pulling that together, and I will keep you updated on all of that. And then things were pretty quiet for the parent education group. We did want to mention that the parent education and diversity awareness group has moved. They're no longer co-located with SSD's central office on Ballas Road. They're in Town and Country. They have moved to their new learning center, which is up in Hazelwood, and I will have to dig up the address for everybody. But if you call the parent education group, they will be able to tell you what the address is and where they're located now. So they have moved up to North County in Hazelwood. On the legislative front, with the start of the new legislative system, there's been a lot of bills filed, but no real action yet. Things are still in committee. They have to come out of committee before they get voted on by the larger legislature there in Jefferson City. So nothing really to talk about there, because nothing is, it's just every senator and legislator putting in their pet bills right now. Other than that, December was a little bit light. We did have new visitors join. I think we're going to have a new member or two join here in January, which I'm really excited about. So January's meeting. let's talk about that for just a second, and then we'll wrap this up and keep this short, because I know everybody else has still got kids home like I do. So our January meeting is January 8th, which is just next week. And we are going to be having a panel discussion with some of our Parent Advisory Council members who have been part of either running or starting parent advisory councils within their own home district. So we have a list of questions. I'm going to moderate the panel and ask them how they did it, what their tips and tricks are, what are things that didn't go so well, so that you can learn from the experts that we have among us. And I'm sure they don't feel like experts, but we're going to call them our local parent experts, and so that we can get that information out to you guys in case you're interested in starting or reinvigorating your own parent advisory council within your own district. So please join us on January 8th for that discussion. I think it will be helpful. And so that's at 7 p.m. Oh, I see a little guy over there. And it's at, anyways, 7 p.m. on January 8th. And I hope to see everybody there. Thanks.